Let's go back to normal view. So I'm going to click the normal over here. And let's create a table. To create a table, you can go insert and then you can choose table. You do not have to make the selection. You simply have to click where you have the data in one cell. And then be sure to check my table has headers. So those will be the column labels at the top. And let's push OK. Now let me undo, Control Z. And another way to do the same thing is to go to Format as Table from the Home tab. And here you can actually choose also a style. The styles again are dependent on the theme you chose. You can also create new table styles if you want. So you would go New Table Style, and then for the whole table you would go Format and choose the border, the fill, and so on. And then if you want to format a header row, you would format it again. And if you want to format the total row, and so on. Okay, so for the moment, let's go ahead and choose one style. Always have contrasting colors. So if I go now with my table selected, I just go to Design tab. You see over here Table Tools. And I see that I am supposed to have a white font. Still, the font over here is black. So why is that? I can go to the Home tab and I can select the column labels and I can use the clear formats because it looks like I did have a format before applying the table. So let's see what happens. Let's now name the table because we're going to use it maybe later. And we go to the design over here and you have table name. So we can name it, for example, totals. Next, let's suppose we do not need the operator column anymore. We can right click where you have the column and we can go delete table column. Next, we would like to be over here, row 78. And you see over here 067. We are missing one record over here. So let's right click and insert a row above. Let's add a new record. So I'm just using the fill handle to go down here. The name is Sebastian. I don't have to type. I just, type S and that's the autocomplete. And then we have Grunwald, so tab, and then the date should be 3/22. If you fill it down, it fills a series, but you can go to the options and you can say copy cells. And then we can use bedroom, tab, and then we have mattress and tab, and then this one is paid in full. So tab, and then it's a standard, tab, and then we type a number 3200. Let's add a record now at the very end. Let's see what happens. So 104, use the fill handle. We have this dialog box. We accept it. And then Ambrose. And then Sordelis. And then 331, same idea to copy. And then we have appliances, tab, and then refrigerator. Okay, it looks like this one is a new one. So let's go ahead and type it in. And then we have paid in full, and then we have a standard, and then we have 1500. In real life, you might have duplicates, so let's go ahead and remove them. I click on the table and I go to the design, and we have removed duplicates. And you can have duplicates by certain columns, but right now we assume these are perfect duplicates, so they are identical. Everything is the same by each column. So let's push OK. It looks like we found 5. Let's adjust the column widths just a bit so we can see everything. I can double click in here. Okay, let's go ahead and calculate the down payment. So I'm going to type down_pay, and look how Excel automatically recognizes that I have a table. So it goes into the table, which is cool. Let's clear the format and let's create a formula. So the down payment is what? It should be the 25%. I'm going to lock the cell because it's in D3, and then times the amount. Okay, look what happens. So it takes the table column. Okay, that's the code. Then I push enter. I don't have to fill it down because Excel will do it for us. Let's now calculate what is owed. I'm making more room here, and owed. So again, I go to clear this. So what is owed? it's the amount minus the down pay. So minus the down pay. And look at the codes, push enter, Excel fills down the formula.